pavilion added by the Roman Emperor Trajan to create a new entrance from the water completes the scenery. Bye bye, Philae. We are crossing the old British dam over the Nile cataracts. Its lake provided water for the Egyptian cotton plantations. The Philae temples were completely covered by this lake for 70 years before they were moved piece by piece to the higher location. Another exciting visit was at the ancient granite quarry, where we spot an unfinished obelisk lying down. This is how they were cutting blocks of granite. The holes were filled with wood. The wood was wet and it expanded until the stone cracked. The unfinished obelisk is still attached on its bottom. It would have been the largest in Egypt. It was abandoned because it cracked. Upstream, we approach the new Aswan Dam, which holds Lake Nasser, 500 kilometers long. Should the Nile source stop, the river would still run downstream for 30 years. The dam is impressively thick, 1 kilometer thick at its base. We are crossing the Nile by boat for an expedition into Sahara Desert, which starts on the west bank. The territory is occupied by Nubians, which are black. This time, we have to steer our camels ourselves. The caravan passes by a blue Nubian village and by the ruins of one of the largest Coptic Christian monastery, Saint Simeon. Before the 1300s, it accommodated 300 monks. A picture session in front of the Saint Simeon monastery. We end our camel ride near the mausoleum of Aga Khan III, a spiritual Muslim leader dead in 1957. To board a boat again, we pass by the Elephantine Island. And we watch the city of Aswan on the other side. The city has been a large crossroad all along history at the border between Egypt and Nubia. Last view towards the Coptic, that is pre-Arab Egyptian cathedral, and we are now riding jeeps, which will take us to a traditional dinner in a Nubian house. Here we try to learn Arab vocabulary, watch henna painting, the vegetal pigment which stains the skin black and the hair brassy red, and we try to smoke the nargileh.
بالهنا والشفا. Bon appetit. Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome, good day, peace.
Welcome, good day. صباح الخير.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you.
شكرا.
And we return to Aswan by night. It was just after 3 o'clock in the morning that we boarded the bus caravan that took us to the most southern spot of ancient Egypt in the heart of Nubia, Abu Simbel. It only rained in 2001, 2006 and last night, when we got close to the banks of Lake Nasser and we raised our eyes from the rain puddles. This is what we saw. One of the greatest temples, carved straight in rock. praising the glory of Ramses II. The line of monkeys greeting the sun at the top is all that was seen above the sand when the temple was discovered in 1813. What we see now is the relocated temple, saved from the waters of Lake Nasser. It was a Swedish company who performed the shift. The temple, built around 1260 BC to impress Egypt's neighbors, definitely impressed us. Each 20-meter high statue represents Ramses II seated, and the smaller statues his family. To place the site in history, the so-called New Kingdom comprises three dynasties, 18th, 19th, and 20th, and includes, chronologically, the famous Hatshepsut, the woman pharaoh, and her son Tutmosis I, Amenophis IV, later named Akhenaten, with his wife Nefertiti and son Tutankhamun, and Seti I and his son, that we see seated here, Ramses II, and inside, pillars representing Ramses II in the Osiris position. Ramses extended the kingdom both south into Nubia and north, facing the Hittites at Kadesh. In the first of two celebrated Kadesh battles, Ramses fought alongside his father, Seti. Look how the movement is reproduced by duplicating the bow and horse legs. Near it, Ramses dedicated a temple to his principal wife, Nefertari. Here are represented the king, the goddess of fertility Hathor, with the horns of a cow, and remarkably the queen in equal size to the king. Well, we take goodbye from Abu Simbel and board the bus. If there is at least one American in the bus receives an armed guard. It is already warm, and we see Fata Morganas. These are mirages, not lakes. Perfumes have been used as offerings to the gods. We stop in a perfume factory. And then we have lunch on a floating deck. Felucas are traditional sailing boats in calm waters. An exciting part of our trip was spending the rest of the day and night on a felucca, riding downstream the Nile. The sail is down and we are tacking against the wind down the stream. We pass by date plantations, we meet large cruisers, but an exciting moment is passing under the bridge. Can we pass? We made it. A moment of relaxation swimming in the clean water. A consequence of the dam is that the level of Nile is constant, the water is clean, there are no marshes, and then no crocodiles. We are on the shore. The boat was well attached to the shore this way. We see how water is pumped into little canals and then distributed to the fields. Nearby there is a village, and we meet the local people But it's time to go back. Dinner is coming, and we have dinner on board of the service boat. The guides are praying. We prepare our beds. Ready to sleep on the felucca. We just wait for the sunset, watching the calm waters of the river, and it's night. Good morning! Breakfast is served. We are in Porumb, on the east bank of the Nile, where we are greeted by the beautiful columns which keep their original color of an unusual temple reconstructed by the Ptolemies. The right-hand side of the temple is dedicated to the crocodile god of fertility Sobek, here on the right. The left-hand side is dedicated to the falcon Horus, here in the middle, shown with his son Horus the Younger, on the right. The delivery of Horus by Isis in the seated position was shown in this panel. Under a mixture of Greek, Roman and Egyptian styles, we discover lots of information, such as the calendar. Each square day has a dot, the sun, and the number, first, second, third day, as well as important events. On the outer corridor are depicted scissors, sponge and medical tools, as well as baby delivery positions. This well, called Nilometer, measures the level of the river for planning the agricultural season. Because the temple used to be flooded from time to time, the stones were kept in place by wood filling these holes. Our next stop is Edfu, where we are welcomed by a familiar character, Horus, the son of Isis and Osiris, wearing the double crown of Egypt, which guards the entrance to a temple dedicated to himself, built in the Ptolemaic era. Represented on the great pylons is the king beating his enemies in front of Horus. By this time, the falcon hero of the Egyptian mythology is married to the goddess Hathor, who carries a disc between a cow's horns. Here they are both receiving offerings from the kings. But Hathor's temple was further down the Nile in Dendera. A great Egyptian summer festival was the reunion of Horus with Hathor, in which the statue of Hathor was brought over to Edfu from Dendera. The courts with hypostyles, that is colonnades, lead to the sanctuary where we see Hathor's barge set on the Nile and the procession depicted in detail. The symbols at the end of the barges reveal which god they are carrying. The enemies are chased down, such as the hippopotamus. Here we see Ptolemy IV and V erecting this temple. They start by seeding seeds around the perimeter, and then the king carries the first bricks himself. The sanctuary has a shrine shown in the back, carved from a monolithic stone. The sanctuary is surrounded by 12 chapels. Here we recognize on the ceiling the feet, the breasts and head of Nut in the traditional representation of the goddess of night. Outside we see the full history of Isis, the death and resurrection of Osiris and his fight with Set. And these are the last wanderings in the temple of Horus from Edfu.